Hi there, I'm Ronald. Welcome to our on-demand webinar, Raise More with Less Effort with Monthly Giving. I'm just very excited today to chat with you about an easier way to fundraise. As we go through this, I will be dropping polls from time to time. I will be asking you to put things into the chat. Even though this is an on-demand webinar, you're basically watching a recording. All the interaction that you do there is going to help us understand a little bit better about who's watching this and the struggles that you're having as a nonprofit with your fundraising. So please interact as we go along. Let's get started. I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Ronald Pruitt. I'm the president and founder of For a Good Cause. For over 25 years, I've helped hundreds of nonprofits raise millions of dollars online as a website designer, consultant, now as a software CEO. I'm coming to you from Kennesaw, Georgia. Our company here, For a Good Cause, it's an easy-to-use, effective, and affordable fundraising platform that generates recurring revenue for small nonprofits. That's what we're going to be talking about today, recurring revenue. I hope that you'll check us out at foragoodcause.com after this presentation. Okay, I've introduced myself. I want to understand you a little better. In the chat on the right, feel free to put in the name of your organization, anything about your mission, anything you'd love to share with us. If you do, I'd be happy to share that out on social media and give you a little thank you shout out for being here today. I'm also going to drop a poll on the right. This is a little question about maybe some struggles that you're having with your fundraising. I mean, does this look like you on the screen here? Are you asking for help? Do you feel like you're always searching for new donors? Are you, planning last-minute fundraising campaigns to kind of fill in a revenue gap? Do you see peaks and valleys in your revenue, raising more at one time of the year versus nothing the rest of the year? Are you simply tired, exhausted from doing so much fundraising that you never really have time for donor stewardship? If any of these things apply to you, you are not alone. Many small nonprofits are struggling with their fundraising. So today, what I'm going to talk about is an easier way. Imagine an easier world. We're going to talk about monthly giving. I think it can ease the pain a little bit for you. What do I mean by monthly giving? That simply is donors automatically, electronically donating to your charity every month. I mean, imagine a steady stream of reliable donations coming in every month. No more scrambling to constantly find new donors. With monthly giving, you're going to have a dependable source of income that you can count on. So how is this exactly, specifically going to make life easier for you? Let's go over some of the benefits of monthly giving. First up, you will raise more money. Monthly donors tend to give more over time compared to one-time donors. On average, about 42% more each year. They're making a longer-term commitment to your nonprofit, so that giving just adds up over time. They typically will give for about 5 to 7 years. On our platform, the typical monthly donation is $63 a month. So that's about $756 per year. If that donor continues to give, maybe for that whole 7 years, that's almost $5,300 to your cause from a single donor. That's a lot of revenue. You will simply raise more money from a monthly giver than you will from an individual one-time donor. Second, that money that's coming in will be predictable and reliable. It's steady. You have X number of donors giving you X dollars per month. That's coming in every month to your nonprofit. That means fewer peaks and valleys in your revenue, fewer ad hoc, stopgap fundraising campaigns that you need to conduct. You'll be able to predict the money coming into your nonprofit. That helps you plan for the future. That helps you budget for your organization's future. That steady stream of income just helps you focus on your mission and the long-term goals of your nonprofit. Yeah, these donors are loyal. They stay with you. They tend to have higher retention rates compared to one-time donors. So in fact, recurring donors have an average donor retention rate of over 80% after year 1 and over 90% after year 5. This is significantly higher than what you're seeing here on the right, 29% as an average retention rate for a one-time online donor. So someone who comes to your site, gives through your website, makes that one-time gift, 7 times out of 10, that donor is not going to give to you next year. The overall retention rate for donors just in general is only about 45%. So 55% of the time, donors of all types are not giving to you next year. Monthly donors are more likely to stick with your organization. They see themselves as the most dedicated supporters that you'll have. And they're providing you the sustained support over time. Because of this loyalty, I want to also mention that they are great candidates for legacy donations and major donations. Next up, you are raising this steady income at lower cost. Monthly giving programs are very cost effective. Doesn't take a lot of funds to really get one started, and they're going to lessen the need for those repeated solicitation efforts for you to have to say, we're losing so many donors. I need to go out and get new donors. When you go out and get that new donor, that costs you 50 to 100% more to get that new donor than it is to retain the one that you have. You're just saving, or it costs you so much more, in that going out and get that new donor with fundraising materials, staff time, and all the expenses that you have with ongoing donor outreach. Monthly giving can free up resources that can be pushed towards donor retention or other critical programs and initiatives that you have. You also become less reliant on event fundraising. If you've done an event, you know how long typically it takes staff to plan that, especially the bigger the event, the more time it takes. I'd love any feedback that you might have for us. If you want to put this into the chat, if you do like a big gala or something, how many months in advance do you have to plan for that? Or how much staff time does that take? That time, that's money. Monthly giving is a more cost-effective way to fundraise. It can help you move away from the types of fundraising that are costing you a ton of money. Monthly giving also protects you from unforeseen events, makes you a more resilient nonprofit. It insulates you from disasters, recessions, any kind of downturn. One of the biggest disasters, certainly that we had in the last few years, was the pandemic. I'm going to drop a poll on the right. I'd love to know how that disaster, that pandemic, affected your nonprofit. What did you lose? Did you lose event revenue? Did you have to cancel events? We couldn't be in person during that time. So how did that devastate your fundraising? Answer that poll. Put anything else that you want to into the chat there for us. We'd love that feedback. The pandemic was huge. And I didn't really understand the financial impact till I saw a recent stat that was kind of looking back at this. This was from The Hill. I didn't really understand that 30% of nonprofits were in danger of going out of business during the pandemic. Not that their fundraising was hit, not that, oh boy, we saw a little bit of a loss in income, that type of thing. No, they were in danger of going out of business. think about the resiliency of your nonprofit. Are you in danger? What happens if you lose your grant funding? What happens if a major donor decides to send their money somewhere else? Are you in danger? Embracing monthly giving helps relieve the stress of really waiting for the other shoe to drop, because you have that steady income coming in, and that income is diversified. It's diversified among a lot of small small donors. Maybe someone giving it $25 a month. If that person decides to stop giving, that's less impact on your nonprofit versus a big disaster or a major donor that walks away. So monthly giving, on that staff side, you can kind of see it's making life a little easier for your nonprofit. But I want to say this is something that donors are used to and that they love. Monthly giving is easy and convenient for them to give. They can budget their giving, spreading out that gift in monthly installments. It's automatic. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to make a new decision to give every month. This is something they're already doing in the for-profit world. They're already giving monthly to Netflix, Spotify, Blue Apron, and a million other subscriptions. So why not your nonprofit? Drop a poll on the right. I'm kind of trying to do a little research. I'm trying to understand how many subscriptions do we have in the for-profit world. For me, I think it's over 20. It really is. Everything from things like Netflix and movie subscriptions and things like that into the business world. We certainly have a lot of subscriptions here at For a Good Cause. This is something that everybody's doing, especially young people. You may not realize this, but monthly giving is already very popular with younger donors. 40% of millennials are already giving to a monthly giving program. Why not give them an opportunity to give to your nonprofit monthly? And finally, when we're looking at the benefits, this is what's working. This is the trend in fundraising. This is the future. Subscription giving is the future of fundraising. So one of the big studies that we follow is the M&R benchmark study. So in 2003, they came out with their report, and they looked at overall online giving, online revenue, and found that declined by 4% from 2022 over the course of 2022. Revenue from one-time giving decreased by 12%. So overall, we're in a downturn. Overall, online giving is down 12%. Maybe you saw that during 2022. You weren't raising quite as much money as you could over the internet. But what was working? Out of that overall downturn, what was working? And that was monthly giving. Because in 2022, 2023, it increased by 11%. And now it accounts for 28% of all online revenue. How much of your revenue is from monthly giving? Think about that. Could you get that up to 28% of the revenue that you're generating online? It certainly would be a wonderful goal. But you can see from these statistics, and there have been more that have come out just recently, that really talks about the growth of monthly giving. This is something that donors want. This is something that makes life easier on your staff, easier on your budget. This is certainly something that we are strongly recommending to our clients that they embrace. Now, how are you going to get there? What are some of the steps to monthly giving success? So as you go through this, we're going to kind of talk about the steps here. I'm going to drop a poll on the right. I do want to kind of understand the stage that you're at in your success. How many monthly donors do you have? Are you just starting out? You don't have any? Are you doing pretty good? And for us, doing really well is for a small nonprofit. That's when you're hitting that plateau of 100 monthly givers or more. That can bring in a lot of revenue for a small nonprofit. So interact with that poll. Tell us anything else that you want to tell us about your monthly giving program. So what are you going to do? What's the right way to get this implemented? So step one, you got to make the case inside your organization. This is going to the board, going to staff. Everybody that's watching this has an opportunity to become a monthly giving champion. Present all the benefits that I just went over to your staff or board, and then do the math. A pretty good goal for a small nonprofit is to convert 15% of your one-time givers to monthly. That's a pretty good goal to strive for. So do the math around that. So let's say you convert 15% of your one-time donors to monthly. What would that mean in revenue for your organization if those givers are giving it 10 a month, 25 a month, 50 a month, over the typical 5 to 7 years that a monthly giver might give? We do have a handy little calculator on forgoodcause.com. I'm going to drop a little pop-up to that if you want to jump over to that calculator and bookmark that. Go to the powers that be in your organization and make the case for becoming a recurring first fundraiser, that you're going to let donors know that a monthly gift is the best type of way that they can support you, to support you long term, to help you have a steady income coming into your nonprofit so you can plan and budget and build your nonprofit over the long haul. Next, once you got that commitment to implement a monthly giving program, you need to define what your monthly gift offer is. What is your monthly giving product? What are you actually selling to donors? Why should they give to you monthly? Why should they sign up for your monthly giving program? That product that you're selling, it's really just the impact a donor can make at a certain amount per month. What is the difference that they can make in your organization? So a monthly gift, typically is between $10 and $100 a month. That's pretty typical. Nationally, if you look at the survey that I just mentioned, the M&R benchmark study, the national average for a monthly gift is around $25 a month. Again, our average here for Good Cause is $63 a month. So decide on maybe 3 to 4 levels between 10 and 100. And then define what the impact on your community would be if a donor gave at that level. At $25 a month, I can plant X number of trees. I can feed X number of families. We can shelter X number of the homeless. What is it that they're buying? That is your product. That's what you're selling to a potential monthly donor. Now, if you're struggling with kind of quantifying, impact to your organization, then at least try to qualify it. Maybe you can't think of 3 to 4 levels. Maybe you can come up with a single level. Maybe the typical thing that you see on TV, the $19 a month, you've seen that maybe at the Wounded Warrior Project or something of that nature. And then combine that with, if you give, we can do this. We can make this impact in the community. What you see on screen here is an example from Doctors Without Borders. So these are the 4 levels that they have identified, the impact of your gift. So $15 a month, you're going to get, they're going to be able to purchase treatment for 17 children. $30 a month, purchase a month of life-saving food. $60 a month of clean water for 40 refugee families. $100 a month. Purchasing the medication for 187 new mothers. I like that they kind of break that down into the per day as well to kind of show you that, plus the per month, really showing the donor that for minimal effort, for 50 cents a day, you can join this program and you can provide this benefit for our community. So think a little bit about what your product could be. What are you saying to donors of the impact that they can make? You're going to use that in your communications, in your fundraising asks, and all the different places on something I'm going to call the monthly giving toolkit that we'll talk about just shortly. Now, you should tie some exclusive benefits for the donor for joining your monthly giving community. Giving is very altruistic, but it helps if you're giving some perks back to the donor, some benefits back to the donor, a little quid pro quo here. Now, I'm not talking about expensive swag, the tote bag or anything like that that's going to cost you money to produce. Because what donors really want as a perk, as a benefit for joining a monthly giving program, is to understand how they are making a difference with your cause. So the main benefit that you want to offer them is really how you're going to communicate that impact. You can communicate the difference that they're making through things like a monthly email newsletter, a print newsletter, exclusive events, maybe behind the scenes tours and access to your leadership. This example that you see here on screen, this is from the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Their monthly giving program is called The Pipeline. So you can see that they have quarterly impact reports. I'm going to get a message, emails to my inbox letting me know how I'm making a difference. You get early access to these living well guides. I would imagine a monthly donor, typically somebody who knows somebody who's struggling with Parkinson's. Getting first access to that and exclusive access, that's going to make me feel better as a donor. And I love this one especially, special invites to conversations with leadership and research staff. One of the most awesome benefits that you can give to the donor is that you want their feedback. So I've seen a lot of nonprofits that might have, quarterly meetings or invite them out to come tour our facility and give us feedback. You're building a community here, and the donor wants to feel connected to you. So that means they want to hear from you. Don't be afraid to send them emails, typically once a month. Send them these impact. They want to hear about how they're making a difference, and they want to be able to talk back to you and give you their thoughts and benefits on what you're doing. One question I get often is, does your monthly giving program need a name? Not necessarily, but it does help increase the sense of community that I was just mentioning between you and the donor. Monthly givers want to be recognized. They want to be seen as your most dedicated supporter. So if you give your name a program, and that name, if you kind of associate that with who that donor is going to be after they join this program, that's going to make them feel really great. It's going to increase that connection, like I say, between you and the donor. So for example, if I join Habitat for Humanity, I am a hope builder. If I give monthly to Smile Train, I am a frequent smiler. Now, maybe you can't think of a clever name. Don't worry about that. You can use words like champion or sustainer, to define who they are. Don't spend a lot of time worrying about a name, but if you can come up with something, I really like that. That is something that a donor is going to feel like that they belong to that. If your nonprofit has a named giving program, put that in the chat. Again, I'll put a shout out to it out on social media for you taking the time to be here today. Next, we're going to talk about setting up your monthly giving toolkit. Now, these are tools that you're going to put in place that make monthly giving easy for your donors and for your staff. So that's making it easy for the donors to give to you, to enroll in this program, and things that make it easy for your staff to manage this. So these are systems that you're putting in place. So that could be a dedicated page on your website that asks donors to join your community, something to promote your program, a donation form that emphasizes the monthly gift option and makes it easy to give, a donor portal that, where donors can go to keep their payment information up to date. Think about all the donor touch points that you have, reply cards, direct mail pieces that you put out. Find a way to add that monthly giving option in there, that checkbox on that reply card. Maybe it's a QR code, text to give instructions on those direct mail pieces that are going out, email signatures, of any emails that go to you. Are you highlighting that monthly gift option? All the little places you want to say, okay, we're going to implement monthly giving everywhere. And we're going to make sure we have the digital tools to make it easy for donors to give. You also want to think about other kind of human systems. So in your organization, who's going to be the support contact for recurring donors? Who's going to take that phone call? Maybe they have a question about their gift, or they want to update their card, and maybe they want you to do that for them instead of doing it themselves. How are you going to respond when you get an alert that says, oh, a payment has failed? The donor might get that also, but what is your staff going to do? What are your procedures there? I always recommend anytime your human systems, you want to be very customer friendly, very donor friendly. You want to do things for them when you have an opportunity. You want to reach out to them very proactively to keep cards up to date and things of that nature. Think of yourself as a customer service team, which is less work than, planning a massive gala for months and months. You are just being responsive to these monthly givers. Let's take a look at an example. This is one of our clients, KidWorks. Sorry for the misspelling there. I should say KidWorks, not KidsWorks. They're at kidworksoc.org. I hope that you'll visit them and check them out. We're going to look at their monthly giving program, Honor Roll. So let's tab over to that. And let's take a look at their website here. So they have a dedicated page on their website here where they invite donors to join the Honor Roll. And I really love this page on their site. It goes into a lot of detail about why you should give. They have a little intro video that anytime you can use video to sell your program, that's wonderful. So they have a video that's going to introduce this to you. They're asking you very explicitly to join their most dedicated donors in the Honor Roll program. They're going to tell you that you're going to unleash the youth potential. This nonprofit, they basically give an 18-year commitment to, K to graduation, to get a student ready for college and ready for their career. It's an amazing nonprofit located in Orange County, California. Look what they have here on their monthly giving page here. So they are outlining the amounts, what you help to fund, what is your impact. So each of these is their products, their monthly giving product, from $5 to $10 to $25 and $50 a month. Look, they even give it names there, from mentorship to exploration. I love this. I like this concept. These are not high amounts. A lot of times with monthly giving, you're just trying to get a donor to enroll. Imagine how easy it is for a donor to enroll at $5 a month. So, you can upgrade them over time, but getting them in the program, that's what you want to do. I love that they are promoting their impact levels, their product here. They've got benefits. This is wonderful. What do you get? You get exclusive access. So quarterly shareholder meetings with the leadership. So, wow, I'm a shareholder in this nonprofit. That's wonderful. I'm going to get monthly communications. And it looks like it's going to be student highlights. So I'm going to see the impact that they're making on the students. That's wonderful. And I'm going to be first to know. I'm a VIP. I get VIP access. So these are not things that are going to cost KidWorks a lot of money here. But it's a huge benefit for the donor, and they're going to feel really connected here. I loved it. Look, we have a support contact, Becky White here. Questions about your donation. I love that. And then they have Meet the Founders, and they have a donor testimonial. Why is Melissa giving? And that's explicitly stated right here. I give monthly as a reminder of my commitment to KidWorks and the students they serve. That's amazing. And so these people, the founders, these are the first people that started this program with them. And they've got the call to action button to join the honor roll. That leads you directly into the donation page where you can give. So they continue forward, but put this donor into an isolated process. So the only thing they're thinking about is making their gift. They carry forward that story that they just had. So imagine what $5 can do. They have their giving levels set up. They've designated that this is a monthly gift only donation page. I think that's really smart. If you're coming from a page on your site that is talking about monthly giving, then isolate that option on the donation form. For your general giving, you should have monthly and one time as a choice. I like to default to monthly. Again, it's the best type of donation that your nonprofit can give. You could see they carry forward, talking about what the benefits are for that level. So $10 a month provides classroom supplies for a student each month. That's wonderful. A simple, easy, one-step giving process. I certainly would encourage them to add some more payment methods, maybe PayPal, other mobile wallets there. And we have a roundup to help cover transaction expenses. So really simple form. They're doing a good job here. Now, I became a monthly giver because I wanted to show you the other piece of their little digital toolkit, and that's their donor portals. So let's go here. Let's go here. I'm logged in to my donor portal, and I just enrolled at $5 a month, and now I will have a chart with them that's going to show me over time. It's going to add an extra $5, and then I'll see my total rise and rise every single month. I can print all my receipts from here, and KidWorks gives me the ability to manage my monthly gift. They encourage me to give an extra $1 if I want to, and I can manage my amount and my card number. And I can cancel if I needed to, but they'll try to talk me out of that. So your monthly giving toolkit is the systems that you put in place to make giving easy. Are you making it easy for donors to enroll? Are you making it easy for them to manage their gift? On the back end to staff, you're putting the procedures in place and the tools in place that are going to make it easy for them to give. So KidWorks is a good example. If you want to share, your donation page in the chat, I would be happy to give you a free, review of that. So feel free to put your link in there. I'll run that against the 12 characteristics that we have here for what makes for a great donation page, and I'll send that feedback to you. Now, next step. You've got your toolkit in place. You're committed to this, but who are you going to target with a gift? Who are you going to go after? And really the best prospect for a recurring gift is a donor that's already giving to you. They've already demonstrated the love for your organization. You can ask them to deepen that commitment by becoming a recurring donor. So these are donors that typically have given small donations multiple times per year. They typically give electronically. First-time donors are great prospects. I've seen many nonprofits focus their entire monthly giving program on converting a first-time donor to become a monthly donor. So that might be, doing communication with them initially after they give, and then working them up to, you're making a monthly giving ask to them. A repeat individual donor, somebody who's given a couple of times per month to one of your fundraising campaigns, that's a perfect type of donor that would say, yeah, oh, well, I'll just make that repeat gift automatic. Why not? For those of you that, may just be starting out, one thing that I love, to go and get your first 5, your first 10, your first 25 recurring monthly giving, givers is to make a personal ask. So go through your targets, find who would be the absolute best prospect. Who is the most loyal people to your organization? That could be your board, that could be your volunteers, that could be someone who just gives every time you ask, and you make a personal request for them to join your program. And you could use the phone calls for that, email, very personalized letters for that. Go after your best supporters. And as we saw on KidWorks, ask them to be founders in the organization and give them special recognition for being a founder. Once you get going, you're going to start to, market that program out a little wider. As I mentioned before, you really want to look at all your channels and say, can we add a monthly gift ask into all the different channels that we're doing? Direct mail, social, email, in-person events. What all are we doing? Can we bring a monthly giving ask to the forefront there? Other things that we've seen that work really well. I mentioned, kind of targeting new donors and leading them up to a monthly giving ask. A lot of times that's done with a welcome email series automatically after they give. I just mentioned really personalized direct mail letters. We've seen that work. I just attended another webinar from really great fundraising consultant, Chad Barger. You can find him online at Fundraiser Chad. This is something he's done with his clients. Is just every week you write letters to 3 or 4 donors that you want to target, and they're very personal asks. You gave at our last event. We met at this time. I want you to join our monthly giving community. And he's indicated that's worked really well for his clients. You can move away from kind of really big events and really focus on some informal things, maybe as an extension of, pulling your monthly giving community together. Maybe have them bring a few friends to maybe an informal event, maybe a backyard barbecue or something like that. Have someone get up and give a testimonial as to why they give. Have someone get up and speak about the impact of your nonprofit. And then, hey, while you're here, I want to talk to you about joining our monthly giving community. So you can, events can still be a big part of this, but, you're taking a little different tact. You are just asking people to join in to what you're doing, become a most dedicated supporter, and you can do that. I put email signatures up there again because I want you to just think about every single place that you want to promote a monthly gift. I'm going to share, our blog is another great place. We have something on there called The Ultimate Guide to Attracting Monthly Donors Online. I hope that you'll check that out as another resource to think about how you can market and get people to your donation page. I wanted to show just a direct mail example. This is an example from Pamela Grow. She's a very smart fundraising consultant that we follow. She basically collects solicitation examples for nonprofits and shares those on her blog. So this is a really good example. So I want to show something that she found. This is again from Doctors Without Borders. So I love the envelopes, special invitation. You really are inviting donors to join your program. This starts out by reminding them how they've been a valuable supporter. I certainly would recommend, don't say dear friends, give the person's first name. You want this to be as personal as possible, and because you are one of the most loyal and dedicated contributors, we want you to become a field partner. I love that. They talk about the levels. They talk about what the impact that was going to be, that it's critical that you give. And then they talk about the benefits that you're going to get. It's automatic. You don't have to worry about it. We're going to call you less. We're going to give you a quarterly newsletter. We're going to give you a receipt each year. I know all the benefits. It's all being laid out to me. I've got reply cards here that are very specific. They say field partner. I can just pick out which one I want, the $10 option, the $12.50, $15.50, and send that back in. Really simple. It's a good example of how to make that pitch. And you really are making an invitation. So I love this example. So, we saw those retention rates before, 90% after 5 years, but that doesn't just happen. This is something that you'll want to work on. And, it could be easier than, trying to retain a peer-to-peer fundraiser or one-time giver who might know absolutely nothing about you. This is somebody who's already joined your program. They're a committed supporter, but you're going to need to work on retention if you want to get to that 90% level. So it's really kind of 3 steps to this. You are going to need to say thank you. You are going to need to communicate impact, and you got to bring people together to build community. So the thank you piece, that includes the automatic thank you that goes out when a donation happens. That then is a personalized second thank you very quickly after that automatic thank you. And then, that could be anything from a personal email, a phone call, welcome kit, a handwritten note, something of that nature. And then multiple thank yous throughout the year, maybe on the anniversary of their first gift, maybe just because, plan some just because thank yous throughout the year. You should be communicating the impact to donors with, an exclusive, at least monthly newsletter where you share stories of the impact your monthly donors are making. Include things like we saw on KidWorks with, stories from the students, how they're, what your dollars are doing for them, how they're progressing. Donor testimonials, I give because, to reinforce that you're part of a community. And then you want to have small get-togethers, I would say at least twice a year for your monthly donors to build that sense of community. This is an opportunity to pull them in either in person or on Zoom. That's perfectly fine as well, to thank them and to show them how they're making a difference. And again, this is a place they can bring a friend who might be interested in joining. One example, so one of our clients that I love, we work with a YMCA, and what they're doing now, this is a YMCA in Central Bucks County, which is in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And they have a monthly giving program. You join at $10 a month. And once you do that, you get exclusive access to be a volunteer in their community project. So I join as a monthly giver, and then it's just for us, and you get to go and you get to volunteer out in the community with other members of the community and members of the YMCA. It's a wonderful little way to kind of tie volunteers that you want into monthly giving. One of the best nonprofits to learn from when it comes to monthly giving is Charity Water. I want to just mention some retention stuff that they do, that it just really, because it's so simple, you kind of think of them as this really large organization, which they are. They have tens of thousands, or maybe hundreds of thousands now of monthly donors that are funding that nonprofit every single month. But what they're doing is really simple, and it's things that a small nonprofit can implement. So I am a monthly giver with Charity Water. When I joined, I got an immediate receipt that thanked me for my donation. But a day later, I got this video email from Scott, their CEO, personally thanking me for joining and supporting their cause. I get a regular email newsletter called The Good News, which hits my inbox and shows me how my dollars are making a difference with little behind-the-scenes videos, maybe when they're putting in a water well, or a testimonial from someone, who's been impacted by my donations. I get email opportunities to give at other times of the year. I get opportunities to send my feedback into this nonprofit. And, donors want to give their feedback. And yes, a monthly donor will make extra one-time donations. They absolutely will. So you can include them in your Giving Tuesday communications and things like that. They're going to continue to give to you, and they want opportunities to do that. This is simple stuff. A charity of any size can conduct simple communications that make a donor feel great about their donations and want to keep that going. Feel free to share in the chat if you know of a great monthly giving program that you give to, that, boy, they're doing the best that they can, and the care and feeding of me as a donor. Love to get those examples. We'd be happy to kind of share them in future webinars. If you think you guys are doing a great job with that, share your monthly giving program as well. Now, you're going to want to grow. You're going to want to grow this program. And this is not just getting more donors into the program. This is also getting existing donors to give at higher levels. I would certainly recommend a once-a-year campaign that asks donors to give a little extra. 10% is an upgrade amount that we use in our system that we talk a lot about here. I think that's kind of a very reasonable small bump up in, you're giving now at $50 a month. Would you be willing to give at $55 to make a bigger impact? So, lots of ways to do these campaigns. I like them when they're done very personalized. So, maybe a personalized letter, postcard, email that says, hey, you're giving at X. We want you to give 10% more. And here's why. Here's the bigger impact that you can make. Here's the, things are more expensive for us now. For us to continue to do these things, we need a little extra. Give the reasons behind why you're asking for a little bit more. And then, give them that button, that link, straight into their donor portal where they can, increase that donation an extra 10%. So we want you to make the case. We want you to define your offer and your benefits. We want you to start to market that program, first finding those founders and then market it out to everybody else, and then grow your program through adding new donors and through upgrades. A little homework for you. I really appreciate you getting to this point. I hope you'll continue working on this. We want you to subscribe to 5 monthly giving programs. And if you don't have a program of your own now, what I found the best way for you to learn is to go out and become a monthly donor yourself. Go out and find other nonprofits that you want to give to. Learn from them what you like, what you don't like. How do they take care of you? On our blog, we do have a great article called Scaling Success, where we go over the top 20 monthly giving programs, all large nonprofits, and then lessons that your nonprofit can take from that. I hope that you'll check that out. Second thing I want you to do is share this presentation with other members of your team. Share the link that you used to get here. Share that with anybody else that you think could benefit, either inside or outside of your organization. Certainly, we'd love it if you posted this on social media. Feel free in the chat now if you want to, give us any feedback on how we did. Other resources I would encourage you to take a look at. One of the top monthly giving experts out there. She's been a great friend to us in helping us kind of, look at our own platform, is Erica Wasdorp. She has a great book with simple tips and practical things for helping you grow your monthly giving program. That's Monthly Giving Made Easy. That is available on Amazon. I'd encourage you to take a look at that. And as I mentioned a couple times, you can go to our blog at foregoodcause.com/blog. We exclusively, kind of for the last year, have been writing about monthly giving, so we have a lot of resources there. I want you to just keep at this. Monthly giving is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Keep at it. You grow little by little, and you'll come out, a couple of years later and say, wow, look at the recurring revenue that we have coming into our nonprofit. If you have questions, I'm going to give you a couple minutes here to put those in the chat. Again, I will personally follow up, even though this is a recording. I will personally follow up on email with anybody who posts a question here. As we end the presentation, I want to give you my contact information. So we are at foregoodcause.com. You can reach me at info@foregoodcause.com. There's my phone number if you just want to chat. Really appreciate you being here. Really appreciate what you're doing for your community. I hope this was useful for you. I hope you'll embrace monthly giving and make this something important in your nonprofit. Thanks again, and I'll follow up. There's a couple more seconds here to put any questions in there. Really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next time.